1 in 5 workers have left the industry in New York. And it's because the wages are just too low. And during the pandemic, it got to the point where forcing workers to earn a subminimum wage and live on tips was unlivable. They found that tips went way down because sales were down, and customer hostility and sexual harassment went way up, with thousands of women being asked regularly, "Take off your mask so I can see how cute you are before I decide how much to tip you." And that made it a matter of life and death.
As Saru has said, we've seen employers across the country respond to this moment by realizing that the well-being of their workers is absolutely critical to the well-being of their business. That there is a deep interconnection between how workers are treated and how profitable, how successful a business is. And that is an opportunity now in our economy to really build back better, as the president says.
Because I'm interested in helping workers in restaurants. I represent probably the restaurant capital of the world, New York City, which has such a diverse and wonderful set of restaurants. Fortunate that last week we passed a bill called the Restaurant Revitalization Act that would spend $75 billion helping restaurants, and we're trying to get that through the Senate. And I'm here because one fair wage, too often, and it's usually women. Most of the restaurant workers and waitresses are women. They're underpaid, they're overworked, and too often sexually harassed. And we are trying to push the minimum wage, one fair wage for restaurant workers with tips that protects them from sexual harassment. That's the least we could do. And this is the National Sexual Harassment Month. So we are speaking out against sexual harassment, and we're speaking for a fair wage. We want to end the legacy of slavery, end the sub-minimum wage for tipped workers. Everybody who's working 8 hours a day is entitled to a fair wage that they can support their families. But too often restaurant workers say they can't do it. They can't make it on that. They have to work other jobs. It's too much.
Let me just say something about workers and restaurant work. I waited tables in summers when I was in school. I never had to rely on it as a career, as the way to support myself. It is incredibly difficult work, and what we learned through the pandemic is that essential workers who make our economy thrive, who make our economy strong, even in prosperous times, were not treated enough as essential. And so the Biden-Harris administration is absolutely committed to taking this moment we are in and ensuring that essential workers are valued, are respected, and are treated as the essential, the heart of our economy, the way that we know them to be. Restaurant work and any work that relies on a tipped wage necessarily puts workers in a very precarious situation. It is a problem of economic security. It's a problem of being too dependent on a customer base, and there's no way for a worker to know at the end of the day how much they're going to earn, and this leads to a whole series of forms of insecurity and precarity that we just should not have in our economy. That is why the president has been very clear that he supports the Raise the Wage Act, which would both raise wages to 2025 to $15 an hour, and also eliminate the subminimum wage for tipped workers. We know that through leadership like Congresswoman Maloney and the House that has been passed, and the administration is looking forward to working with the Senate to see that it passes.